Alright, so this is going to be a really different video. I've spent a very alarming amount of time lately doing sporkles about video games and Nintendo stuff, and I have a very expansive knowledge of useless information on this topic, in this field of knowledge, if you could even call it that. So, in this video, I just compiled a massive list of a bunch of really obscure, hard, and useless facts and questions and trivia for the Mario series. So if you're watching this and you want to, feel free to keep track of how many questions you get right, if you can even get any of them right. This is intentionally supposed to be very hard. And I should mention, these first couple questions are just going to be kind of random ones, because I actually did make some Sporkle quizzes myself, and some of these are taken from that, but that's why a very small amount of them. Following these, there's going to be a long list of more that are all kind of in chronological order of different games throughout the Mario series. But for these, we're going to start with, what color are Evil Woody's fruits in Woody Woods, which is the map from Mario Party 3. And of course this map reappeared in Superstars, but we're talking about originally. And I'm going to give like 1 or 2 seconds between the answers, so I suggest just pausing to think about it if you want. Otherwise you're not going to have time to think about it, because this is going to be a long video. Anyway, the answer was white, at least in Mario Party 3, because originally Evil Woody's fruits were white, but then they were purple in the Superstars remake of the map. Next up, what color are Pink Yoshi's shoes? The answer would be yellow to that one. I just picked a random Yoshi color for that one. Honestly, Pink Yoshi is my favorite one. That's actually why I picked it. Anyway, which of the 3 Koopa Kid colors do not appear on the cover of Mario Party Advance? So not only are you required to know what the cover of that game looks like, but also what the 3 Koopa Kid colors are. And the answer is red. Green and blue are the other 2, and they actually appear, but red doesn't for some reason. What color is Il Piantissimo's Pianta costume? This is of course that running guy from Super Mario Sunshine. And his costume is pink. Next up, what game was Toadette designed for? This would be Mario Kart Double Dash, as she was designed to be a partner to Toad, because obviously that's kind of the whole gimmick of that game. There's partners. Who is the secret boss in Mario Kart DS, and what track are they raced on? This would be Wiggler, which is a weird final boss, but yeah. And you race him on GCN Mushroom Bridge. What is DK's first playable appearance? Surprisingly, it's not like a mainline game. In fact, it's something really obscure. It's Donkey Kong Circus, a Game & Watch game. What were Ukikis originally called? Now this one, there's kind of 2 answers. If you said grinders, you would be right, because that's what they were originally called in Yoshi's Island when they debuted. However, they were also at one point called Ukikis with 3 Ks instead of 2, and that was in Mario 64, and it was later shortened to just Ukiki. What Japanese game inspired the WarioWare series? This would be Mario Artist Polygon Studio, which is one of very few games to come out for the Nintendo 64 disk drive, or the N64DD. It had a game mode where you just played a bunch of micro games that are quite identical to the first WarioWare game. What is Wart's Japanese name? This would be Mamu. You might actually know this if you played Link's Awakening, the Zelda game, because Wart makes a cameo in that game, except he's called Mamu even in English. What is the name of the Piranha Plant variant that appears specifically and only in the original GameCube rendition of the Dry Dry Desert track in Mario Kart Double Dash? It's not there in the remakes of the track, which I believe is in Mario Kart 8. This would be called the Pit Plant. I don't even know if this is an official name actually, it's just on the Mario Wiki, so if you ever stumbled across that, I guess you would know that answer. Next up we got, what were Boos originally called, and what were Goombas originally called? Boos were originally called Boo Diddleys, after the singer Bo Diddley, and Goombas were called Little Goombas. What game was remade in each of the 4 Super Mario Advance titles? Because of course there wasn't really a mainline Mario game on the Game Boy Advance, but there were these 4 games that remade previous games. The first one remade Super Mario Bros. 2, the second one remade Super Mario World, the third remade Yoshi's Island, and the fourth remade Super Mario Bros. 3, which is out of order chronologically, so it's weird they did it that way. Anyway, what other boss does the GBA exclusive boss Kerosene fight alongside in the Game Boy Advance version of Donkey Kong Country 2? This would be Cleaver. Cleaver is that ghostly sword boss, but specifically Kerosene uses 2 of them. What was the name of the 2004 Game Boy Advance tech demo for Mario Kart? This was called Mario Kart XXL. Now this is a really, really random one, and now we're starting to sort of go in chronological order of some of the games here. So the original arcade Mario Bros, there is an Atari 2600 port, and in that port the coins have a different design and also a different name. So what is the name? I'd be surprised if you somehow knew this. They were called wafers. I don't know why or what that is, but okay. What color is Roy, the Koopaling in Super Mario World, despite the fact that we now know him as being pink, and in fact his original appearance was also pink? And technically there's 2 answers to this one. He appears blue in the actual game, but when you see him in the credits roll, he's gray for some reason, so just all over the place for no reason. What is the name of Mario's plane in Super Mario Land? This would be the Sky Pop. What is the yellow virus in Dr. Mario called? I feel like this is the most random one. While the red is called Fever and the blue is called Chill, the yellow is called Weird, which is weird. No pun intended, I guess. What boss is seen on the cover of Super Mario Land 2? Now, this is sort of a trick question, also a really weird one, but the answer is the bird boss. However, technically there is a secondary one, which is the witch, but it's actually mostly obscured by some text. But if you actually look at the official just the official isolated artwork, you can see it fully, so both of those work as answers. What power-up does Mario have on the cover of Mario Teaches Typing? That old computer game. This would be the cape from Super Mario World. What color is the paint on Mario's hat on the cover of Mario Paint for the SNES? This would be yellow. What character is attributed to Mario Circuit, or all 4 of the Mario circuits in the original Super Mario Kart? Surprisingly, it's Luigi, because Mario is attributed to Rainbow Road, and Luigi is attributed to the Mario circuits. What original Mario Kart course features a broken bridge? This would be Donut Plains 3, specifically just that one. What item does Bowser try to collect in that terrible game Mario is Missing for, I believe, MS-DOS and SNES? Now this, I don't even know if it's actually said in the game, but it is said in like the story, I guess in like the manual or something. Bowser is trying to collect hair dryers to melt Antarctica. Just kind of goes to show how weird that game is. Anyway, which Koopaling controls the blooper mech, also known as King Gesso, in the Yoshi Safari game for SNES? This would be Iggy, and this is kind of an intuitive one. You might have been able to get this just based on the fact that Iggy has kind of always been like the wise, smart guy of the Koopalings. Anyway, who is the fairy of the Japanese exclusive game Mario and Wario? This would be Wanda, and I'm pretty sure she actually appeared as like a spirit in Smash Ultimate, so she has a little more reach than just that game. Who is Birdo falsely named as in the credits of Super Mario 2? This would be Ostro, and funnily enough, Ostro, which is an actual enemy in the game, was named Birdo in those credits, so yeah. What was the final Mario early years game? Now there's 3 of these made and they were all like computer educational Mario games. But the last was Mario's early years preschool fun, and the first 2 were Fun of Letters and Fun of Numbers. A Japan exclusive version of Yoshi's Cookie promoted what device? Now this is a really, really deep one, but it was Panasonic's Korupan Oven. The game was called Yoshi no Cookie Korupan Oven Day Cookie, and only 500 copies were actually made, so it's pretty rare now. What is the name of Bowser's Hotel in Hotel Mario? Yeah, Hotel Mario. We're even doing this like probably the worst rated Mario thing ever. It was called Bowser's Caesar's Palace Hotel, which was named after the real-world hotel Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas. Donkey Kong for Game Boy was released in what year? This would be 1994. You might also know this from the fact that some people call the game Donkey Kong 94. Who is the protagonist of Wario's Woods? This would be Toad, not Wario, even though it's Wario's Woods. What is the name of the orangutan enemy in Donkey Kong Country? We're even outreaching a bit to some, not so much Mario, but technically it is, I guess, kind of. Anyway, this is called Manky Kong, which is, lore-wise, an outlawed member of the Kong family. What is the name of the scrapped puzzle minigame from Mario Party 1? To know this, you would never know this if you have played the game before. You would have to have specifically learned this somewhere online or read into like the source code and the leaked cut data from the game. This would be a minigame called Same Game, and something special about this game is that it was actually inspired by a game called Undake 30 Same Game Daisakusen Mario version, which was a Japanese SNES game made by Hudson Soft, who later went on to make Mario Party. What enemy is on the cover of Yoshi's Island? This would be Neppy Nut, and specifically the game's cover shows the specific level, Neppy Nut's domain. What is the Virtual Boy game that preceded Mario Tennis for the N64? This would of course be Mario's Tennis, with an apostrophe and an S. Mario's appearance in Mystery Land in Mario Party 2 is inspired by what game for the Game Boy? This would be Mario's Picross because he wears a very similar explorer outfit. What candy in Mario Party 8 is inspired by Mario Pinball Land? This would be the Bolo candy, at least for just Mario's appearance because he turns into a very similar ball. Who is the purple variant of Squawks from Donkey Kong Country? Now the answer here is a little tricky, but it is called Quawks without the S. And technically it didn't receive an actual name until Donkey Kong Barrel Blast, at least in terms of the English market. However, in Japan there was promotional material for Donkey Kong Country 1 or 2, I think, that actually referred to it that way. But at first it was just called a purple version of Squawks. Paper Mario 64 was originally called what? This would be Super Mario RPG 2, because it is, in fact, the second Mario RPG. I guess they didn't think to call it Paper Mario yet. What was the first game to feature Peach with a ponytail? You might be thinking of Super Mario Sunshine, or one of the Mario Karts, but it was actually All Night Nippon Super Mario Bros., which is a weird variant of the original Super Mario Bros. Starring some Japanese show host cast members in place of all the enemies for some reason. What Super Mario World enemy has unused assets in Super Mario 64? This would be Blarg, who would have appeared in Bowser in the Fire Sea and also Lethal Lava Land, but just didn't. What is the final Bowser level in Mario 64? This would be Bowser in the Sky. What cup is Bowser's Castle in Mario Kart 64? And unlike pretty much every other Mario Kart game, it's not the Special Cup, it's the Star Cup. What Mario Kart 64 battle course was never remade? Only one of the 4 has never been remade, by the way. And that would be Double Deck, because Skyscraper appeared in Wii, Block Fort in DS, and Big Donut in 7. The flower in the Loves Me minigame in Mario 64 DS is from what game? This would be Yoshi's Story. In that game, it was originally called the Smile Meter. A Japan-only sequel to the Wrecking Crew game was released and named after what year? And this is pretty similar to the Donkey Kong 94 situation. It was 1998. It was released for SNES, it was called Wrecking Crew 98, and for some reason it wasn't released on N64, even though that existed for like 2 years by that point. What number faces the viewer on the cover of Mario Party 1? This would be the number 3, which confuses some people sometimes because it makes it look like the game is Mario Party 3 and not Mario Party 1. What characters are fighting in Mario's Battle Canyon, which is the map from Mario Party 1? This would be the Bob-Bombs and the Bomb Buddies. The mini-golf courses in Mario Golf 64 are based on what shapes? These would be a bunch of different numbers, as well as every letter of the alphabet. However, the final hole, which is hole 18 of the Peach's Castle set, is actually in the shape of a question mark. What outfit is Mario wearing on the cover of Mario Party 2? This would be the Western Land or Cowboy outfit. Who is the train from the Mario Party series who appeared in Mario Party 2 in Western Land, and then later in some mini-games like Track Star and End of the Line? This would be a train called Steamer. Bowser Land in Mario Party 2 features a ride in the shape of what enemy? This would be a blooper. What game introduced Waluigi? This is definitely one of the easier questions, but still kind of hard maybe. This would be Mario Tennis for the N64. What character in Mario Tennis 64 has a racket made from a stick, or just a racket with visible leaves growing out of it? This would be Donkey Kong. He's got probably one of the most unique rackets in the game, aside from Bowser, who has spikes on it. Which character is the only one not battled on a regular board in the story mode of Mario Party 3? This would be Daisy, because she is only faced in a dual board, not a regular board. And in addition to that, Waluigi is only faced on a regular board and not a dual board. Who owns the beauty stamp in Mario Party 3? Now the answer to this is also Daisy. It might sound like it would be Peach, but she owns the love stamp. And to go off of that, what color is the beauty stamp represented by in that game? That would be blue. It might make sense to be pink, but again, Peach's love stamp is pink, so the beauty stamp is blue. Name any of the Mario Kart tracks that take place in the rain, and so far there's only 3. These would be GBA Luigi Circuit, Neo Bowser City, and also the Luigi's Mansion Battle Course from GameCube. What game is referenced in Mario Kart Super Circuit's Rainbow Road? This would be the original Paper Mario, because both Peach's Castle and Bowser's Castle are seen in that track. The cover of Luigi's Mansion references what movie? This would be Home Alone. What hidden, inaccessible item can be seen by glitching Super Mario Sunshine in Noki Bay in the bottle level? If you're into little Easter eggs or like game hacking and stuff, you would probably know this. It's just a random book that has absolutely no meaning. What does FLUDD stand for in Mario Sunshine? This would be the Flash Liquidizer Ultra Dowsing Device. Klepto, the bird from Mario 64, appears in which Mario Party 4 board? That'd be Shy Guy's Jungle Jam. What was the final game to use the 1994 Game Boy design of Donkey Kong? This would be Game & Watch Gallery 4, which released in 2002 for the Game Boy Advance, so several years later. But the thing that's weird about this is that the same year as Donkey Kong 94, which had its own design for Donkey Kong Country also released, which is the modern design for Donkey Kong, so the fact that they didn't just stick with that, since they kind of were with a lot of other games, is weird. What is Wario's 3D platformer called? This would be Wario World for the GameCube. What enemy appears on the cover of Mario Golf Toadstool Tour? And there's only one, however there's 2 of it. And this would be a Chain Chomp. What item did Baby Mario and Baby Luigi have in Double Dash? And what later item in the Mario Kart series did it inspire? Again, this would be the Chain Chomp, but that later inspired the Bullet Bill in Mario Kart DS and onwards. What is King Boo's signature cart in Mario Kart Double Dash? Probably the weirdest one in the game. It's the Boo Pipes. Which Paper Mario characters return in Mario Party 5? These would be the Star Spirits. The logo for Undersea Dream in Mario Party 5 is in what shape? You might have been able to just guess this one. It's a fish. What was the added mode in the 3DS remake of Mario & Luigi's Superstar Saga? That would be Bowser's Minions. And also for that game, or at least the original one, Superstar Saga, what contest was held in promotion for the game? That would be a knock-knock joke contest, and the winning joke was some genuinely unfunny one, but most knock-knock jokes are, so okay. What is the final crystal star you collect in the 1,000-Year Door? This would literally just be the crystal star, because one of them is just called the crystal star. What device turns Mario into a ball in Mario Pinball Land? This thing is called the Pinballer. Towering Treetop in Mario Party 6 brings back what previous Mario Party character? And this sort of ties in with a previous question, the first one in the video in fact. It would be Woody, and also Evil Woody from Mario Party 3. Actually, technically Mario Party 2, because he appeared in the minigame area in that game before being the main guy in Woody Woods. Anyway, what is the only Mario Party 6 map where Donkey Kong can be seen at night and Bowser can be seen at day? This would be Castaway Bay. Well, Mario 64 DS minigame is based on the panel game from Mario Bros. 3. This would be called Mix-a-Mug. What is the only Mario Party to not feature Wario? This would be Mario Party Advance. What is the name of the Japan-exclusive Nintendo DS game that features Mario and is just Mahjong? It's called Yakuman DS. So, which character is in the foreground of the cover of Mario Superstar Baseball? And by that I mean who is closest to the viewer. That would be Bowser. You would think it'd be Mario, but he is centered in the artwork. What is Mario's team name in Superstar Baseball? This would be the Mario Sunshines, of course, a reference to Mario Sunshine. Super Princess Peach features what variant of Hammer Bro? This would, of course, be the one that's pretty important in the story and also literally appears on the cover, the Army Hammer Bro. What color represents the calm vibe in Super Princess Peach? This would be green, because blue is gloom, red is rage, and yellow is joy. What animal does Master Koopa call the players in Mario Party 7's Pagoda Peak map? He calls you Young Cricket, and this is when certain event spaces trigger and he talks to you and stuff. What color is the special chain chomp in Pyramid Park in Mario Party 7? This would be red, the rest are black like normal. What is Rob's logo emblem in Mario Kart DS? This would be a D-pad shape. What character is Download Play exclusive in Mario Kart DS? Now someone like me of course knows this, because I grew up playing the game with my brother and I was always demoted to being the one that didn't get to use the cartridge, so I was always playing as Shy Guy, which is the answer. Foreman Spike inspired what vehicle in Mario Kart DS, also because the owner sort of looks like Foreman Spike, or at least this is speculated. This would be the Gold Mantis, which is Waluigi's vehicle, because there is quite a resemblance between Waluigi and Foreman Spike, and of course, the Gold Mantis is like an excavation vehicle, and that is sort of a tie-in to Wrecking Crew. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up there because that was the last question specifically for that game at least. Next week, we're gonna have a lot more questions. So if you made it this far and didn't just instantly click off because you're like, okay, I don't know what this guy's talking about, why would anyone know these answers? And if you're still here and you somehow got any of these right, feel free to comment how many you got right or something. What you think about this, how goofy I am for even thinking of these questions or something. But anyway, if you like this, consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. If you got a decent amount right, give yourself a pat on the back, because that's impressive. And thanks for watching.